In the ancient kingdom of Abia, nestled in the lush, fertile lands of southeastern Nigeria, there reigned a wise and noble king named Chikere. His palace, a grand edifice built from the red clay of the land, stood as a beacon of prosperity and peace. King Chikere was beloved by his people for his fairness and his devotion to the welfare of the kingdom. By his side was Queen Adis, a woman of striking beauty and elegance, known throughout the land for her grace. Despite the outward appearance of harmony, Queen Adis harbored a secret. She had grown restless in her role as queen and had fallen into an illicit affair with a handsome but unscrupulous warrior named Obinna. Obinna, whose charm and bravado masked his ambition and deceit, had set his sights on the throne, hoping to use his relationship with Adis to achieve his ends. One moonlit night, in the depths of the forest near the palace, Queen Adis and Obinna met in secret. The tall trees whispered in the wind as they spoke of their plans. "Adis, my love," Obinna said, his voice a low murmur, "the king trusts you implicitly. We can use this to our advantage. Convince him to send his guards away on a false errand, and when the palace is vulnerable, we will strike." Adis, blinded by her infatuation and the thrill of their clandestine meetings, agreed to the plot. She returned to the palace, her mind racing with thoughts of deceit and treachery. The next day, Queen Adis approached King Chikere with a fabricated tale of a neighboring kingdom planning an attack. "My king," she began, feigning concern, "I have heard rumors of an imminent invasion. We must prepare our defenses and send our best warriors to secure our borders." King Chikere, trusting his queen and wanting to protect his people, ordered his guards to leave immediately to confront the supposed threat. With the palace largely unguarded, Adis and Obinna prepared to make their move. However, the wise king had always been a good judge of character. He had noticed changes in Adis' behavior and had quietly ordered his most loyal and trusted advisor, Namdi, to keep an eye on her. Namdi, a man of great wisdom and loyalty, had discovered the queen's secret meetings with Obinna and informed the king that fateful night, when Obinna and his conspirators approached the palace, they were met not with an empty courtyard, but with King Chikere himself, flanked by a contingent of his most loyal guards. "Obinna," the king's voice rang out, "you have betrayed your king and your kingdom. Your treachery ends tonight." A fierce battle ensued. Obinna and his men fought valiantly, but they were no match for the king's loyal guards. In the end, Obinna was captured, and his conspirators were either killed or driven off. Queen Adis, witnessing the collapse of her plans, fell to her knees before King Chikere. "My king, forgive me," she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "I was blinded by my desires and led astray by Obinna. Have mercy on me." King Chikere, though deeply hurt by Adis' betrayal, remained composed. "Adis, you have not only betrayed me but also the people of Abia who trusted you. Justice must be served." He ordered that Adis be exiled from the kingdom, stripped of her title and her privileges. In the days that followed, the kingdom of Abia recovered from the treachery. King Chikere, with the help of Namdi and his loyal subjects, ensured that peace and order were restored. The king's wise and just rule continued, and he became even more revered for his ability to handle betrayal with both strength and fairness. Queen Adis, now a commoner, wandered the land reflecting on her actions. She realized too late the value of loyalty, integrity, and the trust that had been placed in her. Her story spread throughout Abia as a cautionary tale, teaching the people the importance of honesty and the dire consequences of deceit. Thus, Adis, though fallen from grace, did not let despair consume her. She dedicated her days to helping those in need, especially the orphan children in her village. Through her actions, she sought redemption and a way to make amends for her past misdeeds. Her kindness and humility gradually won the hearts of the villagers, who had initially been wary of her. One day, news of a terrible drought reached the village. The rivers had dried up, crops failed, and the people were on the brink of starvation. Desperate, the villagers looked to Adis, who had emerged as a natural leader among them, for guidance. Determined to help, Adis decided to undertake a journey to the sacred hill of Amodi, where it was said that the spirits of the ancestors could be invoked to bring rain. Accompanied by a small group of villagers, Adis set out on the arduous journey to the sacred hill. The path was treacherous, and many obstacles lay in their way, but Adis' resolve was unwavering. Along the way, she encountered various trials that tested her endurance, compassion, and leadership. At one point, the group came across a deep chasm blocking their path. A frail old woman, who appeared mysteriously, advised Addis to show true selflessness to overcome this obstacle. Remembering her past mistakes, Addis instructed the villagers to build a human bridge, volunteering to be the first to lie down, thus allowing others to cross safely. Her act of self-sacrifice proved to be the right choice, and as the last villager crossed, the old woman transformed into a radiant spirit and guided them the rest of the way to the sacred hill. There, Addis performed the ritual with a pure heart, sincerely asking for forgiveness and blessings for her people. Miraculously, dark clouds gathered, and rain began to pour down, quenching the parched earth and revitalizing the crops. The villagers rejoiced, and Addis felt a profound sense of peace. She had finally begun to redeem herself. Meanwhile, back in the palace, King Chikere had grown older and wiser. He received word of Addis' heroic deeds and her role in ending the drought. The king, moved by her transformation and the people's praises of her new life, decided it was time to see her himself. King Chikere, accompanied by his loyal advisor Namdi, traveled to the village. He found Addis walking among the people, her former rigor bearing now softened by humility and kindness. She was startled to see the king and immediately knelt before him. "My king," Addis said, tears in her eyes, "I am deeply sorry for my past. I have tried to atone for my mistakes. Please, grant me your forgiveness." King Chikere, moved by her genuine remorse and the evident change in her character, lifted her to her feet. "Addis, your actions have shown that you have truly repented. The people speak highly of you, and you have saved them from great suffering. I forgive you." With his blessing, Addis was welcomed back to Abia, not as a queen, but as a respected and beloved figure who had earned her redemption through deeds and humility. Her return was celebrated throughout the kingdom, and she continued her life dedicated to helping others, serving as a living example of the power of redemption and the possibility of change.